Right now we got Gwen Wood. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you, Mr. Wagener.
What do you think of her horror story, Gwen?
I just about fell on the floor. I cannot believe it, but I can believe it. And
there's a book of documents here, Gwen.
This is absolutely beyond outrageous. It almost reduced me to tears. It's just so painful to listen to.
You're not smiling anymore.
No, I'm truly sorry for your troubles here, but perhaps these hefty documents will get into the hands of somebody who really cares, and will be able to help you.
President Obama has them. We'll see what he does.
Yes.
I sent them to him.
Oh yeah, President Obama.
8 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, but you got a letter back from him.
Yeah. The judicial and the legislative and the executive branch do not interfere with each other. That was Mr. President Obama. And he's out there fighting for health care for people who don't have any, and he won't fight for the health care that I had.
Apparently, President Obama doesn't realize that Attorney Richard Fine, an internationally renowned attorney, sitting in an LA County jail right now since March 4th because the legislative, the judicial, all came together like one fascist fist and said, even though you proved to the California Appellate Court that 450 judges were taking open bribes in LA, it doesn't matter. We're going to retroactively make it legal, and you, sir, go to sit in jail for exposing them.
But they closed it down the next day, and that injunction said that when the state didn't have a budget, they couldn't pay anyone, including the judges. The next day, they passed an emergency bill for $19 billion to keep the government going. As that case wended its way through the courts, in 2003, we got up to the California Supreme Court, and that's when the Supreme Court held that when the state doesn't have a budget, they can't pay anyone. So that meant that everybody, we didn't have a budget crisis in 2003 until most recently, if you remember, because the legislators weren't getting paid. Suddenly, when they had the last budget crisis, they weren't getting paid. They had to tough it out themselves. But they do get back pay once they pass the budget, so they actually get a big lump of money to pass this last budget. Don't come to my house again.
And that's why he's sitting in jail today. Apparently Obama doesn't know about that and doesn't care.
Right.
Which gets me back to my other issue. We need more representation. Santa Maria should have a city council of no less than 10, plus a mayor. Should be 11 there instead of 5 little cronies. And we should have individual districts instead of one, all of them running citywide. Nobody can campaign efficiently citywide, but you can campaign in a neighborhood.
That's right.
You can represent your neighbors. Now, Gwen, you worked your sit down in Santa Barbara for who?
I worked for a number of law firms for over 20 years. I worked as a legal secretary and paralegal.
Did you ever see any crooked dealings going on?
I could write a book myself. This big.
Get started. I'll market it for you.
On crooked dealings.
Oh, absolutely.
Are the attorneys all crooks?
No. They are not. But
are some of them crooks?
Yes. Some of them are crooks.
And do the crooks eat well and wear $500 suits and get a lot of prestige cars to drive?
Oh, yes. Yes.
And do the good attorneys, if you knew a few of them, do they drive podunky old second-hand cars?
Yes.
Is something wrong with the system, Gwen?
There are a lot of thieves. Yes.
Well,
do they like old people?
That I can't say. But I know there is a lot of padding of bills.
Now, one of the things I did when I was going to Western State University Law School in Orange County, many years ago, one of the things I did is I worked as an assistant. And I'd go look up things and say, okay, this case and this case applies to what, and I found this, and this case is such a, and they would bill me out, even if I, like on the Krause case, I go look up the Krause, and I spent only 10 minutes on your case. They would bill you $10 for the whole hour. I might have worked on her case and her case.
Yes.
They would bill each one of you.
Yes.
So under their books, if the clients could all come look at the books,
Absolutely.
which they never can,
I know.
they would see William Wagener was billed out at, 190 hours that week at $10 an hour. When in fact, I only worked maybe 20 hours that whole week, part-time. But if I spent 5 minutes, it was a whole hour's worth of work. Or if I spent 20 minutes, it might have been billed at 3 hours.
I know.
And then the attorney adds his bill and pad. Did you see a lot of that, Gwen?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Should these people be in jail?
Yes. Yes.
Are they in jail?
No, but I would like to put them in jail.
Why don't we form a special grand jury in Santa Barbara and indict them, since you know who some of them are?
Excellent idea, Mr. Wagener.
Any of you crooked attorneys out there in Santa Barbara getting nervous? You ought to be. Go read your 10th Amendment. Go read the whole Constitution. There's a body of rights not even enumerated. That means we have rights that we have never exercised because we didn't even read them in the Constitution. And we're talking about something that's never been done, but it doesn't mean we don't have the right to do it. And what does the preamble say? When in the course of human events, people become so corrupt in our government, we have to throw off the shackles and put the crooks in jail.